Hello and welcome to your Inner Journey weather forecast for the week of October 12th through October 19th, 2021, in which we utilize archetypal astrology to get a sense of the themes and qualities that might show up in your psychedelic journeys this week, the psychedelic journeys of your clients. So let's have a look at the astrological alignments for this week using Archetypal Explorer. So here we are. In Archetypal Explorer, we can see this rising red line here that you might see. That's Mars square Pluto. So let's talk about Mars square Pluto active this week. So Mars is the archetype of action, forceful action. It has a spectrum that is on its challenging side, shows up as conflict, violence, aggression. On its productive side, shows up as bravery, assertiveness, activation. Pluto is the archetype of the power, the hidden and the powerful. Pluto is the god of the underworld in Greco-Roman mythology, who's remained hidden beneath the earth. And so Pluto is associated with the power that remains hidden within anything and can be released, just like a volcano releases the power beneath the earth, can be released in elemental expressions of kind of the power of nature itself. And so when we have these two together, oftentimes the Plutonic derives the Mars principle. So the principle of forceful action feels driven by deep, hidden, instinctual drives. So a great example of the Mars-Pluto is the actress Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, who is born with Mars-Pluto. And she is the main character, the actress that portrays the main character in the comedy series Never Have I Ever, which is basically a show about an adolescent girl coming into her sexual awakening. And her desire, her kind of drives, her sexual drives deep inside, and the actions that she takes. So drives, deep drives, Pluto, the actions she takes, Mars, often end up with transgressive consequences that hurt her family, hurt her friends, and that's the drama that the show is about. So this is Mars Pluto. These are the themes of Mars Pluto. In order to take the forceful action in the direction that is guided by these deep hidden drives, we can oftentimes end up in transgressive situations. And that's Mars Pluto. And so those qualities might show up in the psychedelic journeys this week. Themes of action, themes of sexuality that carry with them the taboo quality, the transgressive quality. These are very Plutonic qualities. Pluto, however, is also associated with the power of the ability for something to transform. Pluto is associated with the depths and the drives and the power of nature, which includes animalistic drives. It's also associated with the power inherent within something for it to transform. And so we may find that through encountering these deep drives, forceful, aggressive drives, and accepting them, that we can actually experience a kind of a cathartic, transformative experience that makes us feel that we align with nature, we align with the deep power of nature. And that can actually suffuse us with a sense of bravery, a sense of action, a sense of being activated. Positive potential here is experiencing a deep bravery around protection. Mars can be the warrior energy that protects others, and Pluto can drive that. So we can feel as if we're almost aligning with the will of nature to protect something, someone. Another excellent example of this combination that manifests in this way, in the kind of the positive potential, is Jane Goodall, the woman known for living with many of the ape species in Africa and protecting different species of apes in Africa, as well as other animals, and basically being an animal rights activist. And so we can see how she becomes this embodied example of the protective principle that's aligned with nature. She's actually protecting nature. So that's Mars protecting nature, Pluto. And similarly, she would have had to have called upon a depth, which is Pluto, of bravery, which is Mars, in order to carry on with her career because she spent so many years living in the wilds of Africa with wild beasts, and not only that, but also with dangerous humans like poachers and people like that. So there has to be a depth of bravery as well. So we might encounter Mars Pluto energy in our psychedelic journeys this week as well. It goes into next week, so we'll talk about it next week as well. Let's have another look at Archetypal Explorer here to see what other aspects we have this week. We also have Sun Square Pluto. Okay, so Sun Square Pluto, very interesting combination. We can see it here peaking later in the week. So this combination has to do with Pluto, which we already discussed, the depth, the transformative potential there, the hidden powers, the instinctual drives, though it's now in alignment with the sun, which has to do with the sense of identity. Both Mars and the sun can be thought to overlap somewhat with the principle of masculinity or the yang principle from Chinese medicine. The sun specifically can be associated with the sense of identity, a sense of conscious personhood, our sense of centralizing identity, the I, the me. And the also as well, it could be associated with the father. And so in this combination, it's the I, the me that has its underbelly revealed by the Plutonic. Pluto likes to take things, the other archetypes it combines with, into the underworld and reveal its underbelly. So the underbelly of the I, the me, the underbelly of the identity principle, as well as our kind of our life mission and how we shine, how we're unique, how our energy imprint upon the world. And in psychedelic journeys this week, we can feel confronted with our own, the underbelly of our own identity. You know, the underbelly of our own identity, the underbelly of our own desire for something like our life purpose, our energetic imprint on the world, maybe ambition, something like that. Similarly, we can feel issues having to do with the father, issues having to do with power. Pluto's associated with power, and power struggles can show up there. And so an interesting example of the Sun-Pluto dynamic is an author who lived a long time ago, Lord Edward Lytton. And he was an author who wrote a book called Paul Clifford. And in Paul Clifford, it's almost as if it's almost mythological in its symbolic meaning. There's a thief, and the main character is a thief who then becomes arrested and is tried. And what is discovered is that the judge who is trying him is his own father. And so we can see the Sun-Pluto combination there, in the sense that the identity itself is taken into the underworld. The main character's identity is as the underworld agent, as the thief, as the hidden one, the one who lurks in the shadows and is very Plutonic. And then similarly, he encounters his biological father as the judge, and there's a kind of a power struggle that ensues with the father. And it's a story, it's a Sun-Pluto story, that author born with Sun-Pluto. So we can see there how these energies might show up in psychedelic journeys. Like, it's a great time for psychedelic journeys because of that, you know, assuming that you have you're well prepared, you have all the right support, professional experience support with you to engage in that sort of thing. Assuming you do, and your clients do, then the very identity itself can be transformed, and a deeper sense of identity and purpose can come out of this kind of confrontation with the shadow sides of our own self, and the power struggles within ourselves, and within the dynamics between either the real father and son, or our own inner intra-psychic dynamics within ourselves. A positive example of the Sun-Pluto is the life coach Tony Robbins, who is constantly, he was born with Sun-Pluto, and he's constantly encouraging his followers to evolve their identity so that they can kind of tap into a larger drive. That's that Plutonic, the larger drive and will of the universe and of nature. Tap into that so that their dreams and their life purpose, which is the sun, can be achieved. and they don't feel that they have to just be an individual will. They can tap into a larger evolutionary will that can both drive them to achieve their goals and transform them. So that's Sun Pluto. So we are going to be returning to these themes, Sun Pluto, Mars Pluto, as they continue into next week, and they are part of further dynamics. We're entering into a very dynamic time in which Mars, the Sun, enter into larger outer planet alignments moving forward, such as with Pluto. And so a lot of what we spoke about today, we will continue in the coming weeks, drawing in more examples, more archetypes, the outer planet archetypes, and seeing what types of insights they give us as we continue to move forward in our psychospiritual unfolding and growth. So thank you so much for being with us here this week. Again, this is your Inner Journey weather forecast, and have a great week. Have a wonderful week, a deep, exciting, transformative, very productive week. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks so much.